So my group is me, Joe, and Kendry. Our job is to do stocking. So we've had an issue. Is there a way that I can send you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, where should I send it to?
You can send it through text if you like. You can. That's fine.
Our purpose is to not make it look so cluttered, and just kind of like not have like. So Chris, obviously, he does the ordering and everything. So if we take too much from up top, where all the cups and lids are, he has to order more. So that's obviously more things that he needs to order and everything. So just to avoid that, we're trying to minimize everything. I have props. I couldn't find the order that we placed. So I spoke with Anthony like probably a week ago or so to order a couple things. Okay, I guess I'll leave it up here.
Is there any order you want me to show these, or does it?
You can show up whatever first. Doesn't really matter. I'll work around it.
It's a video.
So this is a visual. You can show. Can you show all of them or just one at a time?
I can probably show all of them.
Okay. So, yeah, it's a lot. I don't know why it's
Can I turn these off?
So this is the mac and cheese. So usually it's a lot higher than it is right there. It's just we've been really trying to get all the team members to work on not overstocking and everything. Usually it's like double the height. That's how it should be. So this is our idea about how to stock. So we're going to have the bigger clamshells on the left-hand side, the lids in front of it. Then we're going to have 2 stacks of the white cups and then the lids, 2 stacks of the red and then the lids. Possibly the red might be a little bit higher just because we do have cheese sauce that we have to do every like hour, half an hour. Depends on there's 7 or 12 in one order, like how it was for lunch for 7. So this is how the soup. Okay.
Got it. Soup. Got it.
Yeah, that's how the soup looks like, and that's what I have props of. So before that was just one long pan. So it was always like really big bowls, really long the white ones, and there's just chaotic. So Joe kind of made this makeshift idea, and I kind of worked with that into making something like this. So this is the piece that we kind of have in between to hold the combines. So we're thinking about doing it like this. So so there's more. See kind of how it's a little awkward with the little cup with the big bowl lids and everything. So with this, you can kind of fit everything a little bit easier, and just looks a little bit nicer because it's not like overlapping. So that's just this prop, and then you can go to the breading one.
Breading one. Got it.
With the circular.
Whoops.
I know your password.
There you go.
So right here, this is kind of just like more of a visual. So like I couldn't find any pans that were big enough to hold all of the cups and all of the lids in Supply Central or whatever it's called. So I was thinking about making like a little template thing of those circular things. So if you want to go back to the mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, so I was thinking about making it like right here.
Yeah, put stickers
like
there.
The labels here, so you can kind of visually see. Yeah, you can visually see like, oh, these are for the big bowls, the lids, and all that stuff. So it can be a little bit more organized. I was also thinking, so whenever we have like a crispy wrap, like a regular crispy wrap, I was thinking possibly getting something else, like maybe something that we switch out, because we always use the bowls or we always use the lids, and I don't know if that's like going into waste, because we're always just using that and then throwing it out, not reusing
Oh,
it.
you're talking about when you cut the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like a pan or something.
Yeah,
that
just
was
like
washable.
Yeah, so every time we change out the utensils we use, we change that out too.
Okay.
So I don't know about what yet, but that's just an idea.
Yeah, almost like a plate, right? Something that's metal, but yeah, that's a good idea.
We have a bunch of styrofoam plates you want to use.
That's a good idea.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Sue.
Well, Sue, thank you for sharing.
So we actually came up with some things like right under the wire. Our team was very silent for a while, but we talked about some things this morning. We came up with a name for our team.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What is it?
We are the Front Counter Heroes.
Front Counter Heroes, all right.
Front Counter Heroes.
Assemble.
And we're heroes because front counter sales have overtaken drive-through sales. And because we move our orders in 3 different directions. Obviously, our orders go out to cars, go to the dining room, and go to the third party and mobile order shelf. So the things we talked about were possibly, I don't know if this is a possibility, but maybe extending the rails on the wall so we can put more containers, so we can repeat some of the sauces. What's on the left would be on the right, and the sauces in the middle would be just things that both sides could reach, because very often it saves time if two people can sauce at once when orders are really coming in quickly. Which we used to have it that way. We used to have it set up that way, but once we put all of the kids' toys and the other
forks
items and the granola and all of the small package items, we had to eliminate that. So I don't know if we can get more of that railing.
Oh,
On the
towards the
top,
sink.
we have more room, but then we have the outlet on the second row. So we would definitely not have as much room, and you don't want to go too close to the sink where there's hand washing going on
Right.
either. You don't want that to obviously splash on your sauces. But it's something that if you could check into that for us, that would be good. Also, we would like to acquire. Well, it's also already been ordered. James informed me, another dispenser for DoorDash stickers, so that there's sometimes very many third-party orders at one time. If we could get them out a little quicker, because that takes up a lot of time. Each bag has to be, if there's 3 bags to one order, each bag has to be sealed with a sticker and then put in the shopping bag, and that whole process is very time consuming, and you might have 3 or 4 more third-party orders behind that. So if we had 2 dispensers, not only could the expo do it, but the sauce box could help and sticker some of the bags as well. So we're going to try that. And then also, instead of taking one third-party order at a time, we would like to encourage people to grab a tray. And because very often, I do it myself too, take one order, one drink, and just walk over and figure we could save steps if we took a tray and put 2 orders and 2 drinks on the tray to walk it over. It seems like a small thing, but every time you're walking over to the shelf, it's taking time. So in light of that, we'd also talked about creating some sort of a tray rack so we could keep red trays somewhere on the counter. Jared had come up with the idea of some kind of rack going over where we have the right now the straws, the sugar, and the Splenda, where that is. For right now, I just I moved those items over. I should have taken a picture of it. But I moved those items over, and I just put some trays vertically so that we do keep trays on that side as well, because the process of going to this side, grabbing a tray, getting the food, getting the drink, it also takes a lot of time. So it'd be easier to have the food all set up on the tray, get the drinks, and walk it over to the shelf. So the tray rack is something like Jared had talked about. I don't know if that's a possibility. Then we would like to, as much as possible, if we have 2 runners on a busier shift, 1 runner is the dining room and third-party runner, and 1 runner is the car side runner, obviously being controlled by the director on duty in case the car side orders, because you never can tell which is going to be more at what time, so if you've got a lot of car side orders, then your dining room runner has to switch over, and vice versa. If it's the other way around, your car side runner has to help the other runner. But we just thought it would be easier preparing those orders with the drink on the counter side rather than the limited space we have on where the drinks are. And then something like a getting rid of the little cart and maybe some kind of shelf that could pull out. I thought that was something we could talk about in the future. We didn't really touch on that too much. I don't know if that's a possibility. And that's pretty much all we have.
I think that was very good, very informative. Team name, Front Counter Heroes, right? Front Counter Heroes.
Yeah.
Did
That
you
was
get
FCH.
Did you get my message?
FCH, nice.
I did.
Okay.
Nice.
Are you
Okay.
okay with that?
Wonderful.
Alright. The name of our group is Chicken Checkers.
Okay. Chicken checkers.
I love it.
We're focusing on the timers
Nice.
and overproducing from the betters.
Cool.
So we communicate. We have a group. It's me, Brandon, and Jamie
Nice.
on Slack. We have a group. Jamie was a little behind because she was on vacation.
Yeah.
So me and Brandon, we were talking a bit. We've been working on all week. We've been working on the timer. So every time a combine would time out, we'd take it off and try to lead by example, show the team. I was like, this is what we have to do.
Nice.
Like, unfortunately, we can't change the procedure. Like, this is the procedure, so we have to encourage the team to follow the procedure the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's challenging. Like when we get to the $5,000 hours, everybody just wants to take the chicken and go, chicken and go. So we have to, as us, we have to try to be patient, and guys, we have to wait.
You're talking about the 90 seconds?
The 90 seconds, yeah. Like, hey guys, Of course, but yesterday, I wasn't even that busy, and I brought strips, we were holding on strips for like a minute, and they went, I'm like, please wait, you know? It's like really like supportive, like a mean, like, oh, yeah, can't do that yet. Like, we're just trying, it's working.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Nice.
I got all the other leaders on board, like, we're all pulling the chicken off, and then people on machines get mad because the chicken's getting thrown out, but, so that's the main. So we kind of have to have communication between the breaders, the machine person, and the line, because like what happens is I see the breaders get panicked when both combines come back. We get hit with a little rush, and then both combines are back. Full drop. You don't need a full drop. We just have to time it out. Sometimes it wasn't called back properly, and then so that's what we're working on.
Nice.
Very good.
What are some of the challenges you guys are experiencing, like while you're doing that?
Getting the team members to temp the chicken and wait for 90 seconds. That's very challenging. But like I said, like all the other assistant directors, everybody is doing it, and being supportive, so it's working.
Nice.
But sometimes, like when there's busy periods, it gets really challenging because everybody just wants to. You get the rush from the front. Everybody's like, "Can I get a 12 count? Can I get a 12 count?" And so the pressure's on.
Right.
And also making sure the breaders don't overproduce and making sure they're following the lean iPad. So Brandon also said, "Well, we got rid of the lean iPad because it's wrong most of the time." But I'm team lean iPad.
Oh, got it. So you've got a little split on your team. Like, you got to figure out. No, just kidding.
It was just an idea.
Yeah.
It was a valid idea, but I think it's good because I've been on breading. I've used the iPad. It does work.
Yeah.
You just have to experience, and you gotta kind of know the business a little bit, and you can know, like, if it says 2 grilled fillets, you're not gonna drop 2 grilled fillets. At least 4.
You guys know you can adjust the lean iPad, right?
No, we don't.
Oh, I can show you guys how to do that. Yeah.
That might help us.
There's little work you have to. Yeah.
3 years later.
There's little work you have to do. But
Wow.
yeah, it's you can do it. There's ways to do it. So.
Well, that would be good if you could show me that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how that actually works. Because Kyle said it was based off of last year's sales.
It is based off our forecast, but you can change the forecast of specific items.
Each day you could do that, or
yeah, for every day. You
like
can do it.
the day, just be like, oh, this is wrong. I can. That's really.
Yeah. You can do it for the whole week. You can do it for the whole day. Yeah, you can do anything you want. Yeah, so I can show you that.
Helpful.
Heard. Yeah, if it's like really wrong, if you guys are noticing that, like I would say that might be a good thing to like observe is if it's really wrong, like when when you're opening.
2 fillets. I'm not gonna drop 2 fillets.
Heard. Yeah, heard. All right, we'll definitely take a look at that. Cool. But
Yes.
is there anything else you wanted to share? Do you want to take any questions? Any questions for Chris?
Yeah, just could you explain the 90 seconds?
90 seconds. So Chick-fil-A's procedure is when the henny beeps, the chicken comes up, and it goes into the combine. Then it has to go to the line with a marker. You mark it with one of the 8-count boxes, or you're supposed to use the 8-count box, but you can use a 12-count box, or just a marker. It tells the team, hey, please wait the 90 seconds until you temp it. So Chick-fil-A wants us to wait 90 seconds. So that if it temps to 165 or higher, then we can use the chicken. Because they're concerned that the chicken's going to come up, even though it's hot, and they may not temp to 165 or higher.
Yeah.
So this timer is that it says it'll be a minute and a half, and then when it turns green, then you're supposed to take the thermometer. And we have thermometers on both sides.
Right.
That are magnetic right to the line. Really simple. The thermometer, you don't even have that a button. You just move the probe.
The probe,
whatever,
yeah.
And you poke the chicken at the right, at the right angle. You don't want to go all the way through the chicken. And then if it's 165 or higher, then we can use the chicken. If it's not, you're supposed to, every piece you check, if it doesn't temp, you're supposed to throw it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So going above Chick-fil-A, that was actually an FDA thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the Food and Drug Administration decided that with poultry products, you need to, after cooking, it needs to sit for 90 seconds, and then you temp it before selling to make sure that it actually hits the right temperature. So I'm not sure why they decided that, but they did last year.
Do you find that the team members are being more accepting of it?
No.
They're...
It was easier for the machine person to control it because we used to have the warming station by the Mac. But now that we got that new system, swipes the combines in, it goes right to the line, so they're triggered to just take the chicken and go.
That's tough.
It's a fast pace.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta go.
So it's just re-educating them.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, if you guys hold on chicken, sometimes that's what we're...
So are you praising them for when they do it the right way?
Oh, of course.
And, yeah.
And checking, and checking temperatures.
One thing, just a comment that I noticed, really small, but in my limited time in the kitchen, I see a lot of the ladies, like, when they're taking the pans back to the queue, they're not scanning the pans out. And so when the pans come back, they try to scan them in, and it's scanning them out, and that's adding time to the temp. So that's just kind of like something I see that I don't know if you could work on that. But.
Of course.
Yeah, because I think it's great to work on the system because of and I remember Joe sharing all the information that he found online on Chick-fil-A Home with the pans. Like basically, as you scan in and scan out pans, it's keeping track of how many pans you're scanning and scanning out. If things are timing out, if things are, how long it's taking for things to go out. So you have all this information at your fingertips if people are scanning properly. That way you can actually look and see how many pans of spicy do we make. Oh my gosh, we went through 20 pans of spicy in that hour, and we're only making 8 at a time. Like, we probably should up that a little bit. It's like you could find that information there if people are using it correctly. So it's definitely, I'm sure it's very good to get people into that practice. So
now, how do you look at how many pans you use per hour?
That's on CFA Home. So I know Joe found it. I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure if you just search AHA or look at some of the reports, it's probably there. I would just message Joe. He found it.
Okay.
I could take a look at it today and see if I can find it, but I know Joe for sure was looking at it. So that's I think it's some good information if we can get into the practice of using it right. So that's awesome. Any other questions for Chris? Chris, thank you for sharing, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you taking time to talk for your team. Thanks, man. Ready to go.
All right, cool. So, the teams split off. I ended up on the wonderful team that is currently known as the Spit Shines.
The Spit Shines.
The Spit Shines.
Okay.
So, we've been working on sort of improving on what's that term? We want to be efficient in dining room. We want to make sure that we are not just efficient, but also going in a direction of being cost effective. We've been communicating over Slack. We made a little Slack group. Didn't make a channel because you can't delete those, and we all know how that goes. But the team is currently Ms. Ruth, Janae, Liz, Ruth. So we have 2 Ruths, and myself, and we have sort of been throwing ideas back and forth into one of the primary things that we've sort of been looking at that we find has been almost wasteful to a certain extent. Absolutely necessary, but most probably wasteful in the way that we have been going about it. That has to do with the use of the green and the red wipes, because in dining room, that's one of the key things. According to the guide that we've been using, we use the green wipes for primary cleaning of the tables, and then we use the red wipes for sanitizing. We're going through these things a lot. And so we've been sort of testing it as we have been in dining room, as we get assigned on the team. We've been sort of experimenting on when should we use green wipes, when should we use red wipes, or when can we just use one or the other. And so this is one example that we filmed recently. You can go ahead and hit the play button on that.
Okay, so this is the dining room is going to do green wipe versus red wipe as far as cleaning goes. Here we have, it's either dried milk or ice cream on one of our dividers. So let's take a green wipe. Takes off a little bit. Alright. Let's take a red wipe. Takes it off completely. I'm not even applying much pressure. Cleaned and sanitized in 2 seconds.
So that was just one example. This is obviously on the wall. Those walls are slightly textured, so you would expect that the green wipe would actually work better because the green wipe is a little drier, but it's for the purpose of the texture that the wipes actually have, because they're sort of designed for a little bit of scrubbing.
Green?
The green wipes. The red wipes are a little more like a towel, and they're wetter because the entire design of the red wipe is to make sure that the sanitizing solution stays on the table longer, as opposed to the green wipe where it's really just for textured cleaning and like CFA Home suggests for like soil and things like that. I personally, when I've been in dining room, I've seen the green wipes be great when a group has gotten up from a table that's been sitting there for a while, and it turns out that no one wiped the honey mustard off the table, and it's just been sitting there and it's sort of caked on. The red wipes have the propensity to wet it and like loosen it up, but when you're preparing tables between servings, you kind of want to be able to get the stuff off a little faster than having to sit there and wipe, and so that's when it seems like the green wipe is a little better when it comes to just forcefully getting that stuff off. Although we still would have to end by sanitizing the table with the red wipe anyway. But I think one of the things that we're looking at is maybe streamlining and sort of reassigning when to use the green wipes, if necessary, and also looking into what the cost effectiveness of that would be. I'm sure that we would be able to cut down on the need for purchasing so many of them within the same amount of time if we only use them when really necessary. Whereas the sanitizing wipes, they do clean, but they also sanitize at the same time. So that's what the spit shines are looking at right now.
Nice.
And that stuff that was on that panel was either dried milk or ice cream. I think it was ice cream.
It most probably
it was like really in there. It looked like a little kid dropped there, shake or whatever it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Questions?
Are you going to watch your usage on wipes? Are you going to change the procedure and then watch your usage on wipes?
I think we're still trying to figure out a way of how to do that depending on who's in the dining room.
Right.
Because if it's one of us who's aware of what we're working on, it's easier. But I think it'll also depend on setting up a system to be able to actually monitor like how many bowls we're using in a day.
Right now we're currently just like in the testing stage of is the red wipe better than the green wipe, and so pretty much that's like where we are right now. So so we're still like testing to see is it like feasible to just use the red wipe and a green wipe occasionally.
Right.
So
like with a lot of soil, like ketchup.
That's our next
So
process.
I was trying to get is the gist of it basically like if you have somebody active in the dining room getting to tables as soon as possible, it should be okay to use the red wipe because that stuff is still loose to just get it up.
Yeah.
But if you miss a table and you see a big stain or something like that, then you should get a green wipe.
Exactly. It would really, the green wipe would be relegated to okay, this table needs a pretty good scrubbing at the moment.
Right.
To be able to prepare to sanitize it, we're
Right.
going to have to use a green wipe because they are a lot more textured than the red wipes. They're great at like. It also depends on the elbow grease level of the person doing it,
and also what the stain is.
Exactly.
Like the red juice. Like I cleaned the employee area, and there was red fruit punch all over the table. And I had the green wipe; it would not come up. I took the red wipe. I had to rub it a little bit, but it came right up.
I think that's right because of the alcohol.
It's
an
alcohol based, so which I mean, I clean my house with alcohol, so alcohol is an excellent cleaner. So
especially for stains, for things like stains, and even the cherry juice, which is just,
it's actually a little, it's a little safer. than bleach, because bleach, of course, will take the color out of the tables and stuff. So alcohol does not, but gets the stain out.
Well, thank you, Eli, for sharing. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Good job, Eli.